Okay, so it is Thursday the 9th on May, I think. I don't know anymore.
Yeah.
So we did our interview a couple weeks ago, and it I thought it came out fairly well, you know, not professional production or anything, but get the point across about what's being done in my life that Brittany has seen. So what we decided to do was go out to public locations, and just be in different locations, and if anything happens while I'm at the public location, Brittany can kind of observe it and we can talk about it on camera, although things are ramping down. Like, for example, when I first got here, I had a guy walk by, whistle at me, 2 identical white Civics over there, 2 identical Mercedes, or very similar Mercedes over here, 2 Lexuses over there, and now an Escalade and a similar looking Yukon, which kind of looks like it together, and they all sort of left, and now it looks fairly normalized. And things I noticed in the local area have sort of normalized a little more, but it's obviously still going on, because how do you tell a worldwide group to stop stalking one man? It doesn't instantly happen, right? That being said, so we just wanted to be out at different locations and different places, and talk about, this is a less structured interview. It's not really an interview. We're just going to kind of gab on some broad topics that kind of need expanding on, that I feel that everyone should really know about the specifics and what's going on, especially with what the LAPD is doing and some of their accusations, like I've supposedly threatened to kill all Starbucks customers, really trying to crank down and lock me away in jail cells and mental institutions to cover up their mass crime spree by trying to make me look crazy. Hence why I wanted Brittany to see what's going on and understand that this isn't about crazy. It's about information I know that people don't want me talking about, and I've even wore my angry, enraged, happy face shirt, because most of us Unabombers and Vegas shooters like Kevin Perlman and supposedly I threatened to kill all Starbucks customers, this is the type of clothing we wear.
Let's just confirm that was not you, and you did not do those things.
Yes, correct. I did not do those things. That's not what Dincy will tell you. He has a lot to hide with the Topanga LAPD spewing out to the world. Okay, so that being said, we don't have a lot of time, so let's get started on some of these broad topics. This is really unstructured. Okay, so the first thing I wanted to do was talk about Dincy's lies working with the Starbucks customers, basically telling them to make up lies to try to control the situation, to frame me. And these lies are going into the court in front of judges. Basically now they're saying I violated my probation. I don't know if that's true or not. But before, they fabricated charges of a 422 criminal threat, paying off my neighbors or working with my neighbors to frame me, and falsifying police reports, and they got their falsified convictions with jury-tampered juries, and now because they realized more and more truth was coming out, and Starbucks realizing it's all on video, which is why I wanted you to see the video and you didn't.
I know.
It's extremely important that other people see what's really going on. So what I'm gonna... Oh,
sorry. No, go ahead.
Just whenever you want to talk, just blab it.
I was just gonna ask if you could tell me a little bit about the video that I couldn't open.
Sure. And you gotta speak up. Speak.
Sorry.
Come on, project that voice. I'm gonna show her, not the whole thing because it's about an hour, and it's about 15 minutes of me cruising around a parking lot, proving what's going on in the parking lots before I walk in. But I'm going to show her as I walk in, while you're watching us, whatever, while we're videoing, and so she can see it right now. Now remember that Dincy claims I've threatened with the Starbucks employees, picked up the phone and called the Dincy crew, claiming I've threatened to kill all Starbucks customers. Yeah, so
do the man tactic.
We're gonna watch it.
One of the other tactics. And you'll notice for years I'm on. Okay, so I'm on.
Did you see that one before? That's the clip where I'm videoing the fire truck because I'm wondering what's going on when the fire trucks arrived.
No.
And the cops walk by saying, "We're watching you, Perlman." You never saw that one? Okay, so that's, I'm just gonna put this here. That's, here, I'll just, so you can watch, can you see that?
Yeah.
So that's fire trucks.
So I'm on my way.
Okay, so you just saw, they just threatened me. They just, I'm videoing a fire truck going to a scene in Warner Center Park, and the cops walk by and they go, "We're watching you, Perlman," threatening me and sort of trying to create paranoia. Now remember, these are the same people that say I suffer from, I'm a violent paranoid schizo. But wait, if the cops are following you around, "We're watching you," and then saying he's paranoid, right? And you're a psychologist, so it's obviously who would you say is trying to create the paranoia?
Well, yeah, that statement definitely.
Yeah, and with all the other things.
That's not going to help anything.
Yeah, but it's really thugging to keep me quiet. But
right. No, I mean, that was uncalled for. You weren't doing anything.
Yeah, I was just minding my own business at a park.
Way home, and I figure
okay, so now I'm arriving to Starbucks.
Just stop at another Starbucks, see if they do the man tactic or one of the other tactics. And you'll notice for years.
This was on 11/30 of the end of 2018.
I have this parking lot backwards, no plates, like the other ones. Let's just kind of document the parking lot first. There are a lot more forward today, but still we got one backwards there. We got one backwards here.
One of those ones?
It's a lot more normal than before, but still there's things going on. And you also notice that the cars backwards here, there's a higher rate of cars backwards here than at the at the Encino. We're now in Woodland Hills. We got two cars backwards here, across from two cars backwards here, right? So why is this lot a lot more cars backwards and those lots more cars forwards, right? You know, what's going on? Well, there's obviously a line of communication telling people at certain locations, if Kevin comes here, do these things or don't do these things, showing mass communication to stalk and terrorize and torture and kill someone that's 5 years old. This is where people usually sit towards the street with lights on. Car backwards here. Car backwards here. I see they all look like they mostly have plates though, which is interesting. Yeah. Because they just came out of the Encino town, whatever.
Does it go off?
And
yeah, it is, but
Encino town center, and you saw the amount of cars with no plates, right?
I think that's full volume because
now for some reason these cars mostly have plates. This one doesn't right here. And we have a guy waiting backwards. Two cars. This car waiting backwards, and that car waiting backwards with the lights on.
okay, I kind of want to skip to the. So just make sure you can hear it. So this is anyways me. This is me driving through the lot, pointing out the car pattern tactics. For example, two Priuses together intentionally, people showing up waiting backwards with lights on directed at me, things like that. There are the trigger mechanisms to try to keep provoking me with passive-aggressive psychological warfare tactics to get the reaction that Dincy and the LAPD and the government want to make me look like a violent paranoid schizo, which is the entire point of what's going on directed at me in gang stalking in general, is the constant, I provoked you in such a way that makes you look like you just flipped out. So anyways, let's go into the Starbucks. So now that you know their motive, right, could you agree that by doing things like parking cars in twos 100 times a day, directed at someone, that they're trying to trigger them into anger and rage? They're trying to make them question a lot of things. But what's the reasoning? I mean, you're going to go through a certain process of questioning, and then enough's enough, and then stop, and then you're imagining it, and then and then eventually you're going to get if it doesn't ever stop. Pissed. Well, remember, this is all day and night, 24/7 for 18 years, and it actually starts at 5 years old on different type of tactics, and after 18 years they still couldn't get the reaction they wanted. Well, after you start noticing these things and picking up on it, I'm sure like then you notice it and like you can't not acknowledge it. Yeah, so what happens is you first you see it and you don't believe it. Right. And then eventually after enough years you go, I mean, it's just this all day and night. Right. And then you go out and you prove it with video and photos. Then, for me, I go down to the police station. I hired PIs before that. They refused to be honest and help me and things like this. Right. But I go to the police station, and they're taking part, and they won't take the video, and they're playing these games. Like, you're imagining it while taking part in the tactics. Right? Because clearly in the video, I mean, I saw the video, and then you went in, and they kept bouncing you to all these places. Yeah, they're just playing games. And that's what they do, and they keep shuffling, you need to go here, you need to go there, and each one is told to sort of run me in circles, right? No one's acknowledging this. Yeah, but they want the entire reasoning is to get the reaction, to lock me away, to remove me from society. Well, clearly, they're not. Yeah, and so what you're going to see here is them pissed that they can't get the reaction. Okay. So they make up the lie, just like Terrence Scroggins. But also remember, I mentioned as I'm driving in the lot that they're doing the man tactic. Each business I go in, for this, I have about 3 days of video, and every location they say man, not just coffee shops, every business, man, 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 hey man, how are you? What's up, man? So, okay, so remember that when you watch this, and we don't have time to watch the whole thing, but this is the same video. So now I'm gonna walk in. Now earlier you didn't see it. There's a horn honking too. I heard it. You've witnessed the other horn honkings. She's witnessed. I heard it on the video. Oh, you did. Okay, yeah. So there's another one. Oh yeah. Also, you just did something. They're right here. There you go. So there's the horn honking directed at me as I'm walking in the Starbucks. Okay, so I'm about to talk to the Starbucks customer. They claim I've threatened to kill all Starbucks customers. So this guy also said man, like the other places, right? Showing Anapies, showing the Okay, so... Can you rewind? Yeah. Before I walk out, I also want to see this part. I'm actually smiling and going peace to the guy. The guy that behind us. Yeah, so pick up on that. So, while they're claiming I threatened to kill all Starbucks customers, they're going like, ha, peace. Okay, I mean, it doesn't get any more obvious that they're...
Okay, so this guy also said man, like the other places, right? Showing, and a piece, showing that there is a mass communication. And so the scams of the Starbucks Corporation with the, you're imagining it and your kind can be anywhere at a Starbucks, Coffee Bean, Pete's, or any other public place in the world because we're going to kill you for some reason. You've just seen once again at the third location within an hour showing that there's a mass conspiracy, right? And this time, is people saying man over and over, right? Something that's now been going on. As you're I
have better audio than you. Okay, so this is important. So you just saw him say man.
I heard it.
Okay, now there's going to be an edit of the entire video that's 3 days, from restaurant to coffee shop to Pete's to Coffee Bean to wherever, man, and all the other tactics of cars showing up and things like that.
Right.
I haven't done yet, but let's stick to this. He says man, but then he, with innuendo, insinuates, I always do, I said something like, oh, you scared me. And he says, I always do that. I come around a corner and just, like, scare the shit out of people, alluding that when I'm in my car, I'm somehow trying to ram or scare people. Okay, now remember Dincy's discovery. Kevin has driving problems, is what, right? So do you see the connected events? Okay, so, if we were to watch the entire video, I think there's just one more thing where she picks up the phone and calls on video.
When you're leaving?
Yeah, when I'm outside. Now you'll notice...
That happened at Jamba Juice,
Jamba Juice was different. The police were waiting with security companies and followed me in.
Okay, I'm just
Yeah. This whole long video of me walking into a Jamba, having a Kiara Noir look-alike, having a Mike Wexler bum look-alike, and I pointed out that guy looks like he's undercover, and he's signaling to security, and security's signaling to working with the cops, and this whole thing that I'm pointing out before it happened, as it's happening on video, kind of narrating it, it's all happening, right? I think the cops are probably going to show up now. The cops show up within minutes and follow me into the... After I walk out of the Jamba, they walk in trying to, right, these freaky...
Was that the same day that they were, like, when you were driving, and they were behind you, and then flipped?
No, I mean, these events that she's watching are every single day. I mean, I have 10 terabytes of this video, just every day, every place I go, similar things. So I don't want to... I just want to make sure that you saw that, and I think I'm going to probably make her watch the whole thing at home, and then we can talk about it, because I think this is important, since Dincy has now claimed that I violated probation, and I've now been threatened by my lawyer that they could possibly throw me in jail 3 to 7 years, and while at the same time trying to blackmail me into mental institutions for only... possibly maybe only 6 months.
So it was Dincy who said that you violated?
Well, remember that Dincy the next day, or within a couple weeks, hops over my fence and drops a Starbucks thug letter on my property. And Seymour, my lawyer, doesn't want me to have the police report with his name on it.
Oh, okay.
Right, remember we were talking about that. Yeah, so... First, Seymour goes, I'm going to send you the report, send me the video. He doesn't send me the report. I say, where's the report? He blows me off. I send him the video the other day. He wants to ignore everything important, the entire background story. He's my lawyer. He should know the whole story. But he's on their side. And then, now he's telling me, I think last night, that it's illegal for me to have the police report, which I'm not so sure that that's true.
I mean, I'm not a lawyer, obviously, but if you committed a crime, you should be made aware that you did so. Like, somebody has
Well,
to
if you're
let
going
you
to
know.
court, you should know the specifics of what
Somebody
you have to defend yourself over, right?
I mean, or else you're going in blind, like what?
Yeah, and that's what he does. He keeps you blind. He keeps you out of the loop. He doesn't cross-examine for you. He lies unprepared. You give him things that he can use. He refuses to use them that you know are silver bullets.
Right.
And then he does the cryptic mental illness tactics, showing that he's involved, and then he lies. I think it's just a couple guys in your neighborhood. When it's worldwide, there's over like 4 billion people on the planet doing it, right?
I was surprised that he acknowledged that. You know?
What?
About that he
That there's a
saw
couple
that in
people?
by where you're living. Like, I was
Yeah, but
surprised that
I
he
mean,
said
we're
it.
out here in Thousand Oaks, and
No,
we
I
see
know.
it.
I'm just saying, like, anything at all, like that. He acknowledged anything.
I mean, yeah, that's
Surprising.
more than usual. No, you're imagining it. You're a violent paranoid schizo. So that being said, I think I wanted to jump. We talked a little about this on the phone, that I had a meeting with Deborah Bear, which wants to contact you.
She does still?
And I'm thinking, like, no way.
Okay.
Because she's part of this Aleph Institute, and their gig, which seems like a scam to me, is...
I'm happy to talk to her.
she's supposedly a psychologist who keeps Jewish people out of jail for the Jewish community, and the first thought that comes to my mind is I never knew that Jewish people were, like, going into jail. You know what I'm saying? Like who are you? Where did you come from? Right? It's like, sounds a little off. And then during our meeting, which I want to show you that audio, which went up, how she also claims that or she doesn't know me and all this bullshit.
I would like to hear that.
Okay, yeah, that's when you definitely should, because she wants to contact you.
Did she mention that again? Yes.
What?
On Monday? Or was that a while back? That she said
No,
that?
this was
Monday?
Monday, yeah. And she gave me the ultimatum with Seymour with this, well, you supposedly violated probation, even though you have video showing you didn't. They could still throw you in jail, and they're going to give you the worst possible sentencing.
Yeah.
If they sent, for example, originally it was 3 to 4 months in jail, and now he's saying, well, because it's a probation violation, it could be 3 to 7 years in jail.
Yeah, I don't know.
It seems a little strange to me, because the punishment is supposed to meet the crime, not angry, enraged judges trying to rid people of the world. But
do you have that meeting right now with you? Can I hear it?
Oh, it's like 2 hours.
Okay.
But and so you get the idea that, and when you hear it, you'll hear that she's very.
Yeah, I'd like to hear that.
We're trying to get you out of this, and she sent me some links to these, like, beautiful mental institute, like check-in mental institute, like this house in Malibu. It's like this dream house. I don't even know if the picture's even like some kind of facade, like
it's
a big,
probably real, like, because they have those, but yeah.
like a big picture of a pool table and this gorgeous, like you're in paradise.
Yeah, it's like a vacation.
But are you in paradise? Because what are they really trying to do here? Hey, I'm going to send you to jail for 7 years with these fabrications, or you can take the easy way out, and you can check into this mental institution for 3 months to 6 months, possibly, provided you're good. But what is it they want? What is it they want that they spent 42 years to try to get me into a mental institution? They want that piece of paper that says Kevin's crazy and checked into was put into a mental institution by the police, right? That's what they want. And they don't want Kevin Perlman Target to look legit. Right? Kevin's crazy. And this crazy guy has a website about crazy ideas.
I see what you
Yeah. Okay, so, let's see.
Do you want me to talk to him?
No, I don't think it's a good idea. I mean, what's going to come of it?
I would just like to understand what.
Well,
I'm sure you.
I mean, they don't want me talking. That's, they want to silence me and make me look crazy, and that's the entire situation.
I'm looking forward to hearing
So,
conversation.
Yeah.
that you guys have.
Okay, so this is a kind of an important topic. Tomorrow, you're still on, right? Tomorrow we're going to a fireman, police, community. They've invited the community to come down to Warner Center and just take part. They're like cooking food and probably charging us for money to support them, and fine, so be it. And we are going to go down, and while that sort of could sound inflammatory on the surface, because they don't like Kevin Perlman, and Seymour said, Kevin, stay away from the police, and this and that. It's the same exact thing with coffee shops for me. They're the ones with the problem with me. I don't even know these people, right? And
do you think tomorrow, like, everything will be okay since he said that? Like, do you think they could try?
I think probably nothing will happen, okay. But if it does, you're a witness.
Okay.
And
I
so
just don't want, you know.
Yeah. Well, okay. So let me state my intentions for the record in front of you and on video. Yeah. My intentions aren't bad. Mm-mm. They're very Gandhi. Okay. They're the same intentions I've always had. Kevin, you're not allowed at any coffee shop in the world. Well, there's no law that says that, so I go to coffee shops. Right. I have the right to go to coffee shops. Well, here I am, all sorts of multiple arrests, convictions, but not just coffee shops, restaurants, shopping malls, whatever. Going to a liquor store because I supposedly have addictive personality disorder on my list on my website of they're changing labels. Yeah. They make up a lie for each thing, right? To just try to break me.
Right, try to find. I mean, you can't have like 1,000 different.
Exactly, and every week it changes. So my intention is, as a community member, which they don't want me to be. They don't want me to be part of the community.
But you are.
But I am. Mm-hmm. They don't have a legitimate reason.
Right.
Everything is fabricated, and 99% is given to the entire planet. Literally thousands of fabrications, none of it true. And I'm not allowed to know what it is because it doesn't make sense anyways.
I think it'll be good though then tomorrow, as long as nothing negative comes from it, that, you know, you're going to show your face there, and I'll be there, and you are a member of the community, you're not doing anything wrong.
Yeah.
You're just me.
So we're going to go, we're going to buy some food, we're going to kind of do our therapy session there, kind of away from people, whatever.
Yeah.
I'm not going to hand out cards. I'm not going to have my camera on me. Okay. I'm not going to wear my Kevin Perlman Target shirts.
Then they have like nothing to do.
Correct. I'm going to be a community member. Now, they're going to know who I am because of what they've done to my life. I'm known worldwide.
Well, yeah. I mean, they'll know you, but you won't have anything that they...
Yeah, so here's the thing. If we go there, just like the coffee shops, and mass groups get mad, and the police get mad, if anything happens, it's not because of me. And Brittany will witness that. Now, that is not inflammatory. That means that they have control issues, like self-control issues.
Well, because of everything that they have claimed, you won't have anything that they have claimed anything about, like your cards or camera, whatever. And so then you would know if anything.
So, like, if you were, I don't even know if Dincy's going to be there, but if Dincy starts screaming, like, you can't be here, or anything weird happens, like I think one of the little trigger things on the blog, the advertisement is these two people are making tacos for us, and I think they were hinting about my, one of the nicknames my friends used to call me, Kid Taco, which my lawyer thinks is because I used to talk a lot. It's really because my friends were...
That's what he said?
Yeah, well, he didn't say it directly. He was hinting at it. And I finally told him in your office, I said, my friends were calling me a Mexican because the 69 Firebird I was building I bought for $300. It wasn't about talking. Mm-hmm. So they're trying to make it like you're ratting out your friends, whatever. You know, it's...
Oh.
Right? They're calling me a Mexican. Because I...
How long does it... I'm sorry, because like you've been through this for your entire life, pretty much. How long did it take you to start, like, connecting all these things like that?
Oh.
Because my first thought wouldn't go there, but I haven't.
No, it's like learning to read Braille. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, at first you're like, what the fuck? Right?
What is this?
Yeah, 29, what the fuck? And I'm freaked the shit out. I can't believe I'm seeing this unheard of thing.
Right.
And then it literally took me about 6 or 7 years to go through the denial, to believe it, to break it down and analyze it, to learn
What's going on?
I don't really like to use chessboard references because one of their accusations is I'm supposedly playing chess with people's lives because Ariana, the black model girl, called me up stalking me with Aubrey Fisher and the police, and she said, Kevin, will you do a photo shoot of me? Sure, and I did her on a green screen, and then I put her on a chessboard, and somehow I'm playing games with, I hate black people, and I'm playing games with their lives. Of course, the I hate black people starts when I kiss the black girl at Sunny Skies day camp between 1st and 2nd grade. That doesn't make any sense.
Not at all.
Yeah, so...
No, that's not who you
yeah, right?
are.
So, but, and I don't even, speaking of which, I don't even know how to play chess. But chess players kind of learn how to predict moves and see what's, yeah, so...
what was I going to ask you? That'll come back to me. Oh, I was going to say, like you were saying, like it took the denial that what's happening, and then finally like, okay, this is what's going on. Like, nobody wants to believe that that is what is happening to them, you know? Like, nobody wants to wants to live like you said, you hate this.
Oh, it's horrible. It's
you know, you don't want this.
You're walking around a planet full of people in an angry rage with psychological warfare provokings all day and night, 24/7. Not one person will say, hey, Kevin, this is unacceptable, right? And it's not only is like a Twilight Zone, it's so weird and out there, but you're walking around, what is this about? Why are these people doing it? And then you get the comments from my father, or, you know what you did, or my mother, your past caught up with you, but nothing specific, right? Because then weird comments, you can't see yourself, it's your personality, and it just shifts from lie to lie, or justification. Yeah, it's just people skating around the issue.
So it took years and years to
yeah.
Like, well, yeah, I mean...
Yeah, that's why I can walk into a public place and I can...
see all these things.
Kind of like James Bondy, I can see what's going on, who's waiting for me, watching, who's looking at their phone, signaling to someone else. I can see all that now because...
It's exhausting.
It's like, and it is exhausting, but it's like learning Braille.
Now you're aware of
and now I can read Braille, so to speak, gang stalking Braille.
Yeah.
But that, it's still unacceptable. It's like, you know, what's gonna stop it, and what's gonna...
That's the question.
Yeah.
What do you want to happen? Like, what, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Like, because this is like, you hate this. Like,
no, yeah. Well, that's why it's psychological warfare, right?
OCD?
Okay, oh, yeah. There was one thing I wanted to mention, though. And this was actually about Alexis Amore, not directly, but the tactic of, hey, everyone, come to support the police and come to support the police and government, or police and firemen. And if I show up, if you weren't there and I showed up,
it wouldn't be good.
They would say Kevin's on his personal vendetta and stalking us and provoking us, and he's a public nuisance. And
okay, when you're just there being your
correct. So it's like, hey, everyone, come here, and then I'm part of everyone, and then it's. And I'm not doing anything, and then it's, look what Kevin did. Well, the same thing was happening back in, this must have been before 29, maybe right after. Hey, everyone, come to the strip club and watch me dance. Kevin's obsessed and won't leave me alone, and he's stalking, right?
When she asked you to come.
She didn't ask me, but she asked everyone on Facebook or Twitter or whatever, right? So I'm inviting my fans to show up, and then their fans show up and just go after that guy, right? That guy won't. But what did I do? That's the part.
You did what she's.
You know what I'm saying? It's like,
come see me.
Yeah, so and it's not like I sat there like.
It's not like you were
trying to pull her off stage and like, you're mine and I own you and I'm the boss. No, nothing like that, right?
You're respectful. You're very respectful.
Yeah, and so the reason I mention that analogy, because these types of things keep happening where people will invite me
and then,
or invite groups, but they'll come after me. And the point I was making at is this, I believe that this post is a bait. It's a trap.
Oh.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. So what do you think will happen since I will be there tomorrow also? Will it not be what?
I can't tell you, but all I can tell you is it's a trap, but I'm going into the trap anyways, to show that I'm part of the community and I have the right.
Yeah.
And now this is where the point I was going to get to is that there could be a possibility on this probation that, like I told you, that if the judge says, I see you didn't threaten anyone, but you know I want to, and I see that you're getting help, even though I'm not the one with the problem. I asked Brittany if she would show up and testify for me if it comes to that, and I can't tell you if that's a good or bad idea. I really don't want it to go that far, but if it does, she has witnessed what's going on. They could cross-examine you and ask you professional conduct questions like, did you or did you not go to the police event with Kevin Perlman?
Like
are you a credible, you know, that type of thing.
They could try to discredit.
Yeah.
I get that. No, but there's definitely, like, therapeutically and just like in every type of way, there is sound reasoning for going to this.
Sure, and I've actually given you a real good reasoning, but the problem is when you're being cross-examined in front of a judge,
I know.
they could try to make you look like a bad person, right? Whatever.
But it's up to me, my sound judgment, what is best for your client, and that is what I truly believe. So, honestly.
Yeah.
So that's all.
Okay.
Saying.
Yeah.
Like, I'm going to show up for you because nobody has, you know? I'm going to be there.
I mean, it's kind of a split. We're gonna do therapy, and we're gonna be in a social environment, and it's a mixed. It's kind of like, look, we're doing therapy, but I also want to show you the kind of things that go on in my surroundings, because as my therapist, she needs to be able to see. You need to be able to see.
It's part of everything.
What's going on, right?
Yeah, that's exactly.
You can't see that in a closed room.
Right, and it's not even. That's what I mean. Like, me going there is beneficial all around.
Yeah.
Like, I believe.
Yeah.
Anyway.
And if we're just Gandhiing in any ways, we're not doing anything aggressive. We're just our presence, which shouldn't be a problem anyways. That's the point.
Right. Exactly. Exactly.
There's no reason they can't say that I'm doing anything to them that they always say, because I was invited as the community. I'm showing up, and they should have no reasoning that I've done something to them. Okay, so what are we? And to the viewers, sorry, I will get my mechanical camera gear dialed in better, so I don't have to keep.
What is this?
Okay, so where are we? Okay, so I just mentioned that Deborah Bear, in the meeting, was now saying, coming in, that I have OCD. Remember, their things changed, and then as we were leaving, I think I told her as we were leaving, I said, this isn't about addiction, this is about creating addiction, and
creating OCD or addiction?
No, well, she says OCD, then I kind of call the bluff, like whatever.
Okay.
And as I'm leaving, which you'll hear, I say this isn't about addiction, because I think she mentioned our meet prior to that a while back with Seymour, that this was about addiction, and I said this isn't about addiction, this is about people trying to create addiction. And she then emails me, here's some whatever, you check-in facilities for addictive personnel or something like that, right? So it's like, look, I just told it right, but
so can I ask a question? I don't know, has she ever said like schizophrenia, like that diagnosis ever? Or
she hasn't, but the police have.
Okay,
and
so
Susan Donner has. At 29, psychiatrist Susan Donner was trying to cover up their scams, and my mother gave me the number, so you know where the information's coming from. And she says at 29, a virus crawled into my brain, and I developed schizophrenia. I was like, a virus? Am I Venom? I don't know. Right?
I'm sorry, I don't mean to laugh, but that's just the...
Yeah, and then she was showing information, working with Mike Huntley, and then spewing out lies to the employees at Yankee Doodle's pool hall, showing that she's not ethical anyways, right? Okay, so this is actually the original time. How much time do we have? It's 2:38. This is an important topic I wanted to talk about, and this was what I started off with, but a few things added.
Okay.
Okay, so my mother's like don't know if it's an OCD thing. My family's OCD thing or whatever is my entire life showing me movies and trying to get me to move out of each and every place I live.
Like
Okay, movie. You get the hidden
that.
message, the reference movie.
Yeah.
Now you have to move. Okay, so
Yeah.
and this has been going on my entire life. Okay.
But you didn't even realize.
I didn't realize it. I didn't realize that everywhere I was living, people were sent after me.
I mean, well, why would you think something like that? Because like,
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, because it's so strange. And it's almost like a compulsion for them. Right? And my mother, even on the phone like a couple nights ago, why can't you just move or something? It's just a couple people in your neighborhood.
Right.
And I was like, it's not a couple people in my neighborhood, it's worldwide. And she damn well knows it, right? And why do I have to keep moving? What's the reason? It doesn't make any sense. And I'm just going to keep spending moving money until I run out of money and starve in the street. So why do I have to keep, right? And
what's your reasoning for wanting you to keep moving?
well, none of these things make any sense, and
Right.
because they won't admit to them, or how do you even ask them that?
Like,
I mean,
why
I
do
kind
you
of say,
want
why
me
do I have to keep moving? And it's just, it just stops at a wall, right? Like as if I'm crazy.
Well, it doesn't matter where you go, because wherever you go, there you are. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And so it just.
But not
like,
just that. Wherever I go, people are going to keep working on me.
That you being, yeah, that's what I'm.
Yeah, so it
to
doesn't
say.
solve the problem.
Correct.
Okay, if I move, or if there's a billion people all over the world stalking me in this mass government operation, and I move, well, it's not going to change anything. I'm going to get different jobs. It's not going to change anything. So I want to kind of go back to facts. Now, in 1993, I moved from Southern Oregon State College to University of Colorado. Okay, there was a whole, we're not going to get into here, but the Kelly Hatch, who was told to follow me up from Calabasas High and to Southern Oregon State with the police, working with the police, and stalk me and try to frame me, saying I supposedly broke into her room and I supposedly tried to steal her car. More bullshit. Her telling me, Kevin, you need to borrow this from me, go in my room, giving me permission, and then saying I broke in her room.
Right.
Anyways, I didn't realize she was working with the police, and I ended up moving to Colorado, University of Colorado, not because of Kelly, because I wanted something bigger, an actual real college.
Yeah.
Instantly I move in, I find an apartment with two roommates, one named Eric Feely and another one Matt something. Okay? Instantly, the government, police, and my family start working on me. This is the first place I'm living in 93. No internet exists. Remember, keep that in mind. And people are sent into my house to stalk and try to frame me, just like we're seeing every day still. Okay? And some events that occurred, a gay person came in to my house with, I think, Eric Feely from the frats, and then he kind of snuck in my room, and he was saying, Kevin, what are you thinking about? And starting to flirt. And I think I mentioned probably, I don't know, in another video or something. And I wasn't really tired anyways. I couldn't sleep, and then I felt a little uncomfortable because I was kind of inexperienced.
Well, because also you like women.
Well, yeah, I like women. I mean, everyone,
It makes sense.
I'm sure, knows that.
But it makes sense that you feel slightly uncomfortable.
Yeah, I think most people would probably feel a little uncomfortable if they didn't like him, but I didn't belittle the guy. That's the point. I walked out of the room. I think I sat down with my roommates on the couch and I said, "Oh, I think the guy's gay or whatever." But nothing like, that gay guy needs to die. No, nothing like that. Just yeah. I mean, if you're gonna ask someone out, you gotta be prepared that they're gonna say, "Someone asked me out," and even if you reject them, they're still gonna say, "Someone asked me out." You're not ratting them out or anything. I mean, that's how life works. Oh yeah, I remember that girl. She asked me out. Whatever. Who cares? These are daily college and college. This happens all day and night in college. But if it happens to Kevin and he says no, instantly the world's told that I am a homophobic that hates gay people.
And which is garbage, because your response, honestly, is like so kind. And
Yeah.
I've seen her so much. Like you responded very well, appropriately.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't mean. It was just, you know, I don't know what to say, and I'm not into the guy.
You didn't want to hurt his feelings either.
You know, and I've met some, and when I was more secure in myself, I met some dudes out in Florida on Lincoln Mall or whatever, and the guy's like, hey, I want to take you home and fuck you, and I'm like, putting my arm around the guy, and I'm like, look, man, I mean, if I was gay, I'd fuck you, but I'm not gay, right? And so I was more secure, but still, neither of them are wrong, right?
No, you were honest either way. Like, you were good. You were not...
Yeah, and he sort of tried to convert me, but that's what people that are attracted do, right? Okay.
You stated you were kind, you were friendly, you were like, sorry,
yeah,
dude,
you know,
I don't
dude, you know, even though my arm's around you, dude, my pecker ain't going there.
No, because, no, you are not.
Yeah, and so I am secure. I would hang out with gay people or whatever at bars because I don't. Yeah, and so why are they trying to make me look like this person who hates black people because I kissed a black girl? Doesn't make any sense. So
no, you love all people. Like, you're not prejudiced against people at all. Or, you know what I mean by that.
I mean, look, there are some people that I don't want to be around, but
not like groups or whatever as a whole.
Well, it just depends on the situation. I mean, sometimes I like groups, sometimes I like one-on-ones, sometimes...
I mean, like, specific, like, a minority or something like that. Like, you don't... Like, the whole... Like, you were just saying, like, certain ethnicities, like, you're not like, I hate them because they are this...
Oh, no, definitely not. I don't judge your...
Based on anything.
I don't judge you by religion, color, race. I don't care about that. I judge you on who you are.
Exactly.
I don't care who you are. I don't care if you're the president of the United States, if you're a complete douchebag and murderer. I don't want to be around you. And if you're a gardener,
it's the person they are.
And you're cool, I'd be like, hey, I'll hang out and drink beers. And even Aubrey Fisher got mad at me at her party because she was with her entertainment crowd, and I was sort of hanging out with some of the local neighborhood normies, I guess you call it, like just the average Joe Blow. I do construction.
And a human.
And she's like, you're weird, and how dare you, and now we gotta hunt you down, right? It's like, why can't I associate with everyone? Why do I gotta be like you, right?
It doesn't make... No, you are not judgmental, and you accept everyone as long as they are a good human.
Yeah.
Period.
So after this, they send in the homeless, like Grateful Dead-ish homeless hippie guy.
I don't know if you told me about
No, I haven't. And what happened is, and I got a crank on this because we're running out of time, is they send him in. Eric Feely sublets his room.
Mm-hmm.
This guy, he pays a small down payment, or part of it. He moves in. He's this complete, like, non-communicating stoner that just sits there all day. Long hippie hair, Grateful Dead shirts, Birkenstocks, the total granola from Boulder or whatever. But he was an older dude, and he would just sip on Everclear and smoke a bong. And to the point where, actually, if you saw like Coming to America, where the guy with the curly hair sits in front of, he gets up and there's the activator on the wall from his hair. The same shit actually happened. This was before that movie. He was sitting like against the wall in this like meditation state, stoned out of his mind, sipping Everclear for hours, and there was this like greasy spot, like. No. But anyways, what happened was he never paid any rent, and then he started migrating us out, and mostly me.
Really?
Yeah.
He tried to make you leave your own.
Yeah, and so I go back for a week for like spring break or something. I come back, he's moved in my room. All this weird shit breaks out where we keep going, we got to get rid of this guy. Not like get rid of him, but you know, he's not paying rent. He's loitering. And he's like invading your
moving
us out, right? He had the system down.
You were being kind to him.
Yeah, he had the system down how to sort of move in and take over a place, like the movie Pacific Heights, and with Michael Keaton, I think, and we're going around to the rental place, like, look, this guy's not paying rent, I'm calling the police, or we're calling the police, there's nothing you can do because he's protected for this many days, and this and that. So anyways, to make a long story short, after the weird chaos, us calling the cops several times, for some reason the cops down in LA, Topanga Division, mad at me for calling the cops with them on the guy who's squatting, giving me little hints that they know about this. Well, that doesn't make any sense. You guys sent the guy after me, and I did nothing wrong but pay my rent, right?
Well, you were being kind by letting him stay there.
Well, I mean, we didn't have a choice because...
I mean, at first.
At first, yeah. But you get the idea that he's strategically migrating, and it turns out he's migrating me out, and then I believe there are all sorts of accusations that I might have done things to him and this and that don't exist. Now, to make a long story short, because we don't have much time to expand on all the details, at this point he gets what he wants and I move out. Okay?
Oh, you did? Okay.
Now this is where things get weird. My mother just happens to have her friend Deborah Schiller's son going to Boulder and living down the street, needs a roommate.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Or in the local area. Needs a roommate. Do you see something a little weird with this?
That's like a
coincidental?
huge coincidence. Yeah.
Okay, now I'm not picking up on this.
At the time, were you just like grateful or like? What
well, yeah, it was a little more like convenient, like.
Oh, that's
because you're stressed. You're dealing with.
Absolutely.
And remember, they have psychology degrees, so they know what they're doing. You're stressed. You're going to this guy. He's a nightmare. You can't get him out of the house. He's not paying rent. You win.
And then
And then boom, we just happen to have
I would be like,
a spot for you right here.
Right.
By Noah that can spy on you and get what he can to use against you.
But you had no idea.
Had no clue.
No, you just thought, all right, well, that's cool. That worked out, I guess. You know. 'Cause
Yeah.
you're in a tight spot.
So
stressful.
yeah, so all these things. Noah, once again, his girlfriend was introducing me to female friends, and they were trying to set me up and get me to go after them. Things like this. All sorts of other things were going on. Mike Wexler, my brother's friend, is sent after me. My brother introduced me to Mike Wexler. They're working same tactics with women and a redhead out there. Remember I told you the thing with redheads.
Yeah.
Oh, I like you, let's go on a date. Not yet, not yet. I like you, let's go on a date. Not yet. Another girl, Noah Schiller's girlfriend's gorgeous girl, wants me to help her move, and then if I help her move, she'll go out to dinner and this and that, and then she blows me off because they want these reactions that don't work. But that's not what they're saying to cover it up. And Noah's probably at the same time trying to get information about what happened with the homeless guide to cover that up, right? Needless to say, years later, after moving back, my father's hinting about Noah and things that I supposedly did within that house, even though none of it was true like everything else, showing, once again, these strategic operations where my family's moving me from this place to that place to the next place, and every time they move me, they want people to keep tabs on me, and they're like paying off people to spy on me, and I can literally go back to Southern Oregon State College while putting ads in papers and people applying for roommates were contacted by my family and the police and to keep tabs on me.
It's just sad because you said that your family was like the best, like you was like ideal.
To your face, yeah.
Well, I mean, when you were younger, like you thought you had this awesome family and all this stuff, and they loved you, protected you, whatever.
Yeah.
And then like I can't even imagine what that was like when you felt so like betrayed by them.
Well, I didn't know, so I thought they were great.
Right, but when you started.
Oh yeah, after trying, I couldn't believe it. I could not believe it. I was figuring it out, and I'm going, this can't be accurate.
Because it's against everything you.
And then they do it. You figure it out. It can't be true. Then they do it, and then you go, shit, they just did it, even though. And then they do it again, and 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 it's like.
Devastating.
Yeah, and the things they're doing are so abusive, violating privacy. It's like, example, when I was 29, I'm driving home. I'm driving down Pacific Coast Highway and I run out of gas. And I have to push my car and this and that. Some of the guys get mad because the car's blocking their restaurant. And I go and I walk and I get gas and I fill up the car. And that night I get a call from my stepfather, Arnold Silver. And he has this long, friendly conversation with me. And then at the end, before he hangs up, he says, well, just don't run out of gas on PCH.
Okay.
They live in Canada.
Right. So how on earth would he know that?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Now, isn't that the type of thing that would create paranoia?
I would be like, how on earth
like, how do you know that? Yeah. Oh, I don't know that.
Who wouldn't question
Yeah,
that?
I didn't ask him because I was too freaked out with everything going on, but it was like, he never would have admitted it.
Right.
And so,
What?
the Brian Longbottom spy game. we're watching everything you do, and we're hinting about everything you do to try to make you mentally ill. And then we're going to tell everyone that you're a horrible monster, and supposedly you're doing it to people. But last time I checked, I don't have NSA level resources to do that.
And you
I mean,
never would do that. That's the
I never would.
point.
Correct. I never would, and I've proven that. But even if I were to, you would have to have unlimited resources. I mean, you can't just. Yeah.
Right. And you never would.
Okay. Yeah. What's the? There was like one more
Oh.
topic.
Oh, it was the one you talked about. Court.
Let's see. Okay, so, well, let's just... But you see the migration into a place?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, now we have the same thing with Seymour Hamster, Deborah Bear, Deborah Schiller, Deborah Bear.
Mm-hmm.
I think Deborah Schiller might even have a psychology degree, I'm not sure. Deborah Bear, you could go to jail for 7 years, but I'm going to save you and we're going to put you in this mental institution.
Right.
Once again, we're going to migrate you somewhere. We're going to move you. Why are you going to move me?
Regardless. So, like, you get to choose this and that.
Yeah. Now remember, this whole thing isn't, even though they're trying to make me look like I'm a bad person, it's not that I've done anything wrong,
Right.
but they're creating the illusion that I did something wrong and now I'm here to save you.
Well, correct. Because, like you said, it took you a long time to believe all these things. Or
Yeah.
whatever, so it would make sense that other people wouldn't believe these things at first either, or wouldn't, like, oh, he's just, you could brush it off.
Yeah.
Like, and put, like, a label on you or something.
Yeah.
But, like, you
And
didn't believe it.
it's all
Yeah,
strategic.
it was so, yeah.
Like, example, I have probably last month, I have a conversation with my stepfather. It's like, well, you know, you did this and blah, 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 and, you know, and so it's like, well, and I got pissed. I was like, no, I didn't do jack shit, right? I said, you're covering for Jason, who tried to bash Gregoire's head in with a crowbar, and these are all set up in frame jobs, and I have not done a thing, and the first thing you should say is this is unacceptable,
Absolutely.
and we're going to speak out about this, not I'm trying to set you up and frame you and then go, well, you did this, so now I'm your savior. Right? So it's that I'm going to drag your name through the mud and now I'm here for you, playing both sides of the fence, right? And then none of it's true. And you don't know who's doing it.
How do you believe anything then?
Yeah.
Honestly, or trust
Yeah.
anything?
And the problem is it just goes from thing to thing and person to person. And everyone's conspiring together with the police. And that's where it really gets freaky.
Right.
Yeah.
There's a bug on your face. I'm sorry, I'm not trying to like.
Yeah.
I keep seeing.
So, I guess I'm done with my topics, but if you...
I'm so sorry, guys.
Oh, yeah.
I have to go, like, keep talking.
You can take control of the conversation if you have anything to ask or...
Oh, yeah, for him.
I think that Deborah Schiller was a really important one.
Sit.
Okay. Not
Or-
Deborah, the one, the second.
Both, actually, but Deborah Schiller's, Noah Schiller's, Noah the Ark. Noah's Ark. The mother of Noah, who I lived in Colorado with these set up and frame job operations, and my mother was working some transvestite angle or something because supposedly his brother or something turned into a transvestite a couple of years ago after being married for like 40 years. I don't freaking know. Like, so I don't know if it's true or not.
Confusing, it's like, it's just confusing to try and figure this out as existing. I can imagine.
Oh yeah,
right?
because it jumps from thing to thing. Because there's a whole subset of themes with my brother and transvestites.
The spider one is so. You know?
Yeah, it goes. That's the problem. Is it's not one thing. It's we're working on you on every angle. You know, they're popping water beds with little threats that they're gonna pop my bladder in high school and things like this, right? It just goes from thing to thing.
So you never have one consistent.
So it's not, but
anything.
yeah, so it's not really about anything. Just your eradication.
I would feel nuts. I mean, so I'm sure.
But that's the point.
Exactly. That's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. Like point taken, because I definitely would be like, what the fuck is happening?
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
So yeah, that would make sense. I mean, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
so that makes sense.
Yeah. At first you think it's about this, then you go, it's about that, then it's
And you're
about
like,
this.
I'm
And then it's you're imagining it. and then they come with more hints that you did this, and on a daily basis. Remember the Starbucks claims? I supposedly masturbated in the bathroom.
Yeah,
I threatened to kill all customers.
Turn the lights off.
What else? There's so many. They're mad at me for. Okay, wait. Here's the guy spinning thing. Look at this guy. Yeah, that's one of the tactics.
Oh, you told because when I was twirling my pen or whatever.
Yeah.
And I was like.
Yeah, I have tons of video of person to person doing it.
Really?
Yeah. Okay,
Did I
so.
throw that back? Oh. I'm
So,
sorry.
and it's funny that we're talking about jumping from thing to thing and accusation coming from all directions, and that guy spinning, hinting, because that's actually a threat message that we're trying to spin you and race your mind.
No.
And so I even have the police on video. They see me driving by Gateway Plaza Topanga, and he grabs his flashlight and he starts spinning it in front of me, and he's on video on one of my posts on my blogs with a whole line of different people spinning things, showing that the very people are saying nothing's going on or taking part.
Right.
And it starts at 5 years old.
Right.
Right?
I'm so sorry. I have to run just a minute because it's 3.
Okay, that's fine.
But we can. Well, maybe tomorrow we could like do this as well.
That'd be great if you have the time. That'd be great.
Yeah, because.
If you want to put together some questions or something.
Okay. What time is it starting?
It's 11:30 to 2, and
Okay.
we don't have to be there.
11:30 to 2. So we could do. Okay. What time?
Somewhere in the middle, I would think. But
Okay, cool. No, that works well actually.
okay.
I'm trying to figure out my schedule tomorrow, but I want that's the priority, so I want to make sure I'm there.
Okay, so just let's cut it short here. We're close. We're shutting down here. So that's today's. I don't know if we really call these interviews, but talks. And
Look at the free spray.
yeah. And so that's it. Until next video.
So